All right. Hello, everyone. We are live. We were late because of Sam. I'm blaming her. Welcome to what? Oh God, what am I? Social Sprint 8 of the Worldwide Writeathon. I don't know which one this is. Sam. Oh no, I need you. What number Writeathon is this?
Yes, we're 8.
Oh, now I'm getting playback from myself. Oh no, I thought I was so prepared. I'm clearly not. All right. So we are here for Social Sprint 8, yes, of March Worldwide Writeathon. We are waiting for Charlotte. She is back.
I swear to God.
Issues already.
We have internet people coming to install the NBN on Friday, and I can't fucking wait. Oh my God.
Fair. All right. Let's do some introductions. We'll start with Danikka, since she's new.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Well, hey everyone, I'm Danikka. I didn't really prepare like a formal introduction because I figured it was like pretty chill. But basically, I'm an editor and author mentor. I edited Ashwood and Brimstone, which is, I can't which way, but Emily's debut novel, which is coming out soon. And yeah, so Emily and I have become pretty good mates, and they posted that you were going to be hosting tonight, and I was like, oh well, I'll totally jump on with you, because I was just telling the girls I haven't touched my work in progress in a year, so I was like, a write-a-thon sounds like something I need. But yeah, no, I'm just excited to be here, and yeah, if you have editing questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Lovely. Samantha.
Hi. Yes, it was my fault we were late. I may have been talking in a different stream. It's fine. Hi, I'm Writing Mom Smith at El Nasset. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. On Mondays, I host live streams very similar to this where we talk about... I host live streams like this where we do productivity sprints and chat, have a good time. Or sometimes we talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Like Monday, because I'm going to need a break from writing all weekend, we're going to talk about Lost Boys, the 1980s movie about vampire, not Peter Pan. And if you would like to see a sample of my writing, you can check out my short story, Until Pizza Do Us Part, at my website, smithatonnasset.com. While you're there, you can sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam and some dubba stuff until we get the community tab. Come on, we're so close. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends to subscribe. They can ignore all of my posts. I don't care. And hello. Ta-da.
Charlotte?
Or not.
Oh, or is she frozen? Oh no, she's just not.
Oh.
Okay, she's gone. All right. We probably will have Charlotte coming in and out because she's on country Australian Wi-Fi, which is worse than just general Australian Wi-Fi. So, let's try it again. Okay, there we go.
The timing was impeccable. I just see Emmy motioning down. It's so like I'm about to start speaking, and it's like, nope. And I don't know whether you caught it, but just as it lagged out, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No.
Okay. Hello, I'm Charlotte. Also known around the traps as Chaos, because shit like this happens all the time. I can't remember what the criteria for an introduction were, but I have a YouTube channel where I cover a lot of various creative life, career, project stuff, and do some fun vlogs every now and then. I'm a writer across many mediums, including cabaret and performing arts, and I also work in the performing arts as a freelance sort of performer and lighting designer, as well as working on several different novels at once, which I've yet to finish any of them. So that's me, and I'll probably have to turn my face cam off to like actually stay in the stream for most of the stream, because otherwise my internet is going to keep booting me.
Fair enough. And then I guess I am Emily, the owner person of this channel. I don't have an intro because I'm unprofessional, even though I've been doing Worldwide Writeathon for the last, 2-3 years? I don't know how long it's been going for. But yeah, I have a book coming out next month, and Danikka was my editor for said book. So the Goodreads is linked in the description if you would like to add it to your Goodreads list thing. It's like right at the bottom. So have fun scrolling through all the shit. Let's see who is here. We've got Michael. Hello.
I apologize for the shaky
Connie.
camera work. I had to clean up lemonade from my bed.
That is fair enough. We have a Stieg. Gurinda. I'm sorry if I have butchered that. We have Violet. I've heard this pronounced 2 or 3 different ways on different streams.
Do not go
and
with
I'm not
mine.
100% sure. Okay.
I think I just said Ross.
Yeah. Is it Rosachet? Maybe, possibly. We have Flora and the Fawn. Nice. We have Anne. Hello. Iola. Do-do-do. We got a Sage. Cool Gamer. We got Renee. I'm going through real quick. We got Richard. Do-do-do-do-do-do. No, she literally lives in the middle of nowhere in Victoria right now. So, and we got Shay, who needs to go to bed because she's been up for too many hours.
Yeah, no, like even, yeah, not only that, but I don't actually have Wi-Fi at the moment. I'm operating off my mobile hotspot.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good idea. We'll see how long Charlotte lasts then.
Oh my god, I'm getting so much lag.
We appreciate the dedication.
The dedication is there. Not the only one with a confusing name. Feel free to call me Rosie. Okay, cool. Cool. Rosie is cool. Charlotte, for the love of the gods, please mute yourself. Rude. I assume that's because of the background noise. Or because it's just laughing and it sounds weird when you can't see what's going on. Okay, I'm with you there, Stick. I gotcha. What is everyone planning on working on during this social stream? I will be possibly working on novella because I've given up on short story rewrite for tonight. Yeah. Danikka?
I am working on, so I've been working on this book, believe it or not. Well, I didn't know it was a book when I started it. It was a short story that I wrote for an assignment in high school, and I was cleaning out my computer to upgrade it because it was long overdue, and I found the short story, and I haven't used anything that was in the short story originally except for the main character's name and possibly a little bit of the setting. But I've planned the whole trilogy because I'm a plantser, not a pantser. And now I have to sit down and write it. And did I just press play on something? Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, that's good because I think I just played my Spotify. There we go. I've got new earbuds and I don't know what they do until I hit something and I'm like, oh. But yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. I haven't looked at this in like a year, so I'm going to go back and quickly read. I think I've got 10 chapters so far. I'll quickly read the plan and then just jump in where I was up to.
Nice. Sam?
I finished revising the 2 short stories that I was going to revise this weekend, so now I'm working on my 3rd goal, which is reading as much of Fox's draft as I can.
Nice.
Also
Charlotte?
going to try to move... Oh.
Nope, you go.
I was just going to say I'm going to try to move as little as possible because I'm in my room instead of at the table. Because
I am going to restart everything I own and hope that fixes the tech issues.
Okay.
And other than that, I'm working on science fiction novels, so that'll be fun.
Okay. Clearly there was some lag there. All right. When can we, oh yeah, I didn't say the release date. The release date is the 13th of April. So this will be available 13th of April on Amazon. Yes. And then possibly elsewhere later on. But right now, Amazon. Near midday, energy dwindling. So reading, nice. D&D fantasy mess. Nice. We love some fantasy mess.
Yes.
Stieg is continuing to draft away on retelling project. Ooh, yes. Oh, I do need to I need to read chapters that Stieg sent me because I haven't done that. I caught up with Vendetta workshopping edits and finally drafting book 2. Hopefully babies remain asleep. Yes, hopefully babies do remain asleep. That would be great. Got to work on waking up. Fair enough. What are you working on, Emmy? I said I'm working on my novella, which is like a prequel companion to Ashwood. So yes, there you go. That's what I'm saying at the moment. Shah's selling herself short. Space pirate awesomeness. There you go. That's what she's working on. The group trying to communicate with Shah.
We'll get through it.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll come through later.
Eventually, we will get there with Charlotte. Maybe. Okay, laughing. She's sent a message to say, imagine she's laughing in the background. That's all right. That's pretty much what she does all the time anyway, so we're good. All right, how about we jump into the first sprint, get it out of the way. Oh my god, the timer's starting already. Stop. Okay, we're going to use the cutest timer ever because I finally stalked Marta's channel and found it because I've wanted to use this timer forever because it is the cutest. So we're going to do 25-minute sprints like I usually do, but we're only going to do 2 because this is a social stream. So it's going to be fun. Thanks, Stick. Yes, it is. It's going to be a short novel, okay? I just like saying novella because it's easier. All right, let's start the sprint. Timer is done. How did everybody go?
I finished reading the second chapter in the draft I was reading. I started reading some webtoons because I'm getting really tired.
Fair enough.
I also finished reading 2 chapters and I was editing as I went, which is like writing rule number 1, but I'm an editor, so I can't help myself.
To be fair, I do it too, so, you know.
Yeah.
Not that that means anything, but I got, well, what did I do? I don't even know. I think I was editing as I went as well, because I read back a little bit. And then I think I wrote like maybe 100 words. And then, oh no, Charlotte's gone again. And then I pulled out some of my random secondhand bookshop fucking rigging and spars books, you know?
To be fair, I also kind of edit as I go. I will write a section, and then, like, if I'm doing a sprint and I write a section, then oftentimes I will have to go back and let's just reread that section a bit and then continue on. If I'm having a writing like day where I'm not sprinting per se, I'm just writing on and off all day, then I'll like be able to get all the way through, or scenes. That's what it is. I'll get through a scene, then I'll go back, self-edit the scene, and then go on.
Okay, so this has been a pain in the butt. I restarted everything. I've reset everything, and it still kicked me out as soon as we got to the end of the sprint.
We'll see how long it lasts. Oh, okay. All right. I think she's just doing that to keep it going. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out. I think I was trying to look for a name, but this is literally just about rigging. So the name that I was looking for was not going to be in here. So I don't know why I pulled it up. But, you know, it's fun. Renee wrote and knitted and realized she has an arc to finish. Yes, you do. 22 new words. Nice. Organizing 2 outlines for this fantasy. Thinking I need a 3rd outline. If you feel that way, go right ahead. I read and drank orange juice. Fair. Reading and drinking.
I misunderstood that. She was reading the orange juice and then drinking it, and I was like,
my brain went there as well, and I was like, had to be like, don't comment on reading orange juice.
I was gonna ask the nutritional facts, and then I'm like, wait.
Yeah. So how is everyone doing so far for the Writeathon? Have you been up for everything, Sam, or just joining here and there?
Not willingly. So what happened was, which I've told this on, I think, every stream I've been on so far, is the kids can watch movies on the weekends, and 2 out of 3 of them are like me and naturally night owl-y. And the 3rd one, well, he can keep up with the other 2 if they're doing stuff. So they get to watch 2 movies on the weekend, and then I go up there and I put them to bed between 12 and 1. So I was like, I already knew I was going to be up late last night, and I needed to be up at 5:30 my time for the opening ceremony. So, but they were asleep by 1, and I'm like, cool, that's 4 hours. That's all I really need for the day. But then, like, I was on the tail end of a migraine flare-up, and my migraine flare-up went, you know what would be really cool right now? Migraine insomnia. And I was like, bitch. And so, like, I had a weird anxiety thing where I could not sleep, and I'm 100% certain it's fucking migraine. And then I managed to get 40 minutes on and off before I had to get up for the opening ceremony. Did that, took 2.5 hour nap, And I've been awake ever since. And it's
Lovely.
4:43 a.m. my time. So
Yeah. So you've almost been up for like 24 hours.
I
Oh, you
will
have.
I will have been up for like almost 24 hours after we finish the sprint, minus my 2.5 hour nap.
So much fun.
And I'm just now getting tired, just for the record. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm in my bed, like very cozy. Because I wanted to set up in the living room because I'm like, well, if I'm in the living room and I'm sitting up, I'll be wide awake the whole time because I'm not human. But my husband reminded me, he's like, hun, I'm going to work and the dogs. And I'm like, fuck, this little socially anxious, clingy. I love my fur children. They just ruined my plan. That's all.
Fair enough.
Look at these little plan ruiners over there.
Oh.
But if I was not
cuties.
if I was not in here, they'd be like, "Where's mom? Where's dad? Where's the world is ending." So
Okay, Katrina has confirmed she is reading Wicked Fox, not Orange Juice.
fair. I would not judge you for reading the
The
orange
pulp could be like reading tea leaves. Yeah, this is true.
Yes.
It's true. Craving sleep. Yep. I think Rosie is trying to stay up for the whole Writeathon, which for us,
Do not
Danikka, it
recommend.
goes until tomorrow morning, and it started
Oh,
last
wow.
night. Yes. It's what, 36 hours, I think?
Yes.
Oh, I'm just getting sleepy just with you guys talking about all of this sleep, and I slept for 12 hours last night, so I don't know how you guys are doing it.
To be
I
fair,
didn't sleep for that long last night.
this is just how I exist as a whole.
Yeah.
So, like, I caution everybody to know their limits and to not sign up for more streams than they feel. Because, like, a couple write-a-thons ago, some people were, like, talking about, like, on screen. They were like, oh, I'm really feeling the burnout because I've been in so many streams. And I'm like, if you're not an outgoing extrovert who can siphon the energy from your audience, don't sign up for a bunch of streams. And I signed up for 4 streams in a row, a productivity stream, and then 3 social streams. And literally none of my friends were surprised. They were just like, so are you going to sleep before or after? I was like, after probably. But like everybody else I've told, they're like, but you said, and I'm like, I know what I said, and you should follow my advice, not my example.
Just fair.
I know my
I don't know
limits.
how much we're going to get from Shah. She might just, we'll just keep it there, just to, you know,
Moral
she's
support.
with us in, yeah.
She's a gorgeous
I'll participate
avatar.
eventually in a W, but tomorrow, but work tomorrow and babies. Yes.
Fair.
Yes. It is tricky doing. God, my brain is not working. World Wide Write-a-thon with babies. I think Aiden was like 3 the first year
Grayson,
I did it.
how are you late? We were in the same backstage conversation.
Got up, dressed, sat down at my desk, now thinking about how I forgot Ricky. Well, go and eat breakfast, Steeg. Jeez. Do as I say, not as I do. Yes, yes. Where are we? We're 40 minutes. How long can I go for? 2.5?
Yes, you 2.5 hours, 40 minutes, so 15 more minutes of sprint is what you have to fit in. Which I did like the first 20 minutes within the first half hour, and then the second 20 minutes I was like an hour and a half in, and then knocked it out. So the social ones are like super flexible.
Yes, they're definitely more flexible. Backstage conversation just ended.
Now I'm sad that I missed it, but it's fine.
Yeah, you got the FOMO. I took my dog out. It was honestly nice to get some fresh air. Yes, I'm definitely feeling that. This room is like a sauna right now. Oh no. Where am I?
And then they were all like, so that bit. No, I'm kidding.
Does this count as technical difficulties for my bingo board?
Yes, it
I
does.
would count it, yes. Yeah, internet difficulties count. It got deliciously weird. I'm not surprised at all. Knowing who was involved in that stream, I'm not surprised. We'll have to stream again together and have a backstage conversation then. There you go.
I'm on it. DM me. Let's set it up.
That's how it goes. I mean, you've got what, the Lost Boys one on Monday?
I do. I'm glad you
Yes.
remembered.
Oh, you know what? That's Tuesday for me. So I still have a whole nother day to watch Lost Boys.
Sweet. I haven't watched it for my Monday viewing. So I'm
Oh, no,
thinking
wait.
of doing it Monday morning.
No, maybe it'll be... No, yeah, it'd be Tuesday morning for me. Yeah, your streams are Tuesday morning for me. Okay, bye, Charlotte. So yeah, I have a whole nother day to watch Lost Boys. Cool. I have to
And
do
it's like,
that.
it's just a movie, let's talk, not a season. So it's much easier to fit in a day.
Yeah, I need to watch like a good movie because I watched like one of my most anticipated movies for the year last night, and it was such a letdown, and I'm very sad about it. And it makes me really angry because it's up for so many awards and it wasn't good.
Well, I don't want to like uphold Lost Boys as a cinematic masterpiece, and also my taste in movies has nothing to do with their quality 90% of the time. However, it is a 1980s movie, and if you like 1980s movies for what 1980s movies are, you will probably love it.
I will most likely like it because it's a 1980s movie. It's 1980s Kiefer Sutherland, and it's about vampires. What is there to not like?
Vampire biker gang.
I'm gonna fucking love that movie, and it's gonna be my most favorite movie ever of all time, probably.
You're gonna love the grandpa. Just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And I know nothing.
It's fine. I tend to love grandpas. That sounds, take that however you want. I was super strict with my backstage crew. I would love to stay and hang, but okay, that's fair. What was the movie? Oh, you know what? It hurts me to say. It was Nightmare Alley. And I thought it was terrible. And I love Guillermo del Toro. He is like, if I was to ever get into making movies, like, I would want him to be my mentor in it because I literally love everything else he's ever done, except for maybe Pacific Rim. But Nightmare Alley was just like, this should be my favorite movie ever. And oh God, it was not good. And then I looked up what the original movie was because it's a remake. I looked up what the plot of the original movie was, and I would have fucking loved that if they'd made it like exactly the same, but they changed it and there was just things missing and it didn't make sense, and it was pretty. Cinematography was beautiful, but the story was not. It wasn't there.
For all you people talking about Lost Boys in the chat, come to my channel Monday. We can talk about it together.
Stick, I don't know. You might not like it, honestly. Yes. Kiefer Sutherland was also awesome in The Three Musketeers.
Jess was looking up gifts because she had never seen Lost Boy, and so she had been looking up gifts for like Lost Boy, and she found the saxophone player from Lost Boy, and she's like, I have to see this movie for this man. And I'm like, he's quintessential 80s. Like,
yeah. Laura, now I feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Laura. Look, the movie looked beautiful. You did a great job on the snow. It was stunning.
Emily was highly complimenting the cinematography.
I was.
Even before she knew that. So.
Right. It was the story. It was the written... there was something wrong with the script. I don't know what happened. I think it's just like Guillermo's own stories are so good. Crimson Peak, amazing, masterpiece. Pan's Labyrinth, amazing, masterpiece. What's another one that I love? All the Hellboy movies. That's not even his story, but the Hellboy movies, fucking great, top tier. But Nightmare Alley was just like, they tried to be too vague about a lot of things. So then a lot of the story that was like implied didn't actually come across. So it was just really confusing and kind of just felt like watching nothing.
That reminds me.
Yeah,
Like
I could rant about this forever. I'm so sorry, but like it looked beautiful. It was gorgeous. But yeah,
that reminds me of an
story
anime and manga, and they're trying to like build suspense in their stuff, and it's like, but what if it could be that person? And it's like, nobody talks like that. Just say their name. Especially if the very next panel is going to be a very obvious like zoom in thing that it's this person, and it's like.
Yeah, I didn't really like Pacific Rim. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but I remember watching it the first time and I was just kind of like, meh.
My favorite
But it could just
thing-
be a kaiju thing. I might just not like kaiju movies.
My favorite thing about the criticism Pacific Rim got was when the director was all like, I wanted to make a movie about robots fighting giant monsters. So I made a movie about robots fighting giant monsters. And I'm like, I love him.
Friends, I'll go feed myself. Yep,
Yes,
that's fair.
nourishment, food.
Common denominator thing we don't enjoy. Yes. I'm sorry, Laura. Just CGI. Well, the CGI and effects, like visually, the movie was amazing. Like stunning, great. Oh, Shape of Water was the other one. Sorry, just popped into my head. That movie was great. But yeah, this one, Laura's bit was the best bit of the movie. Exactly. Have you read The Strain? You wrote a book. No one wanted to make series script. I'll have to look at it. I know he's had a couple of his other movies written into books. There's a Crimson Peak one. There's a Shape of Water one. I haven't read them, but I can get them through my library. I might have to give it a go. Bruce Del Toro would have made The Hobbit. Oh, it would have been so good if he made The Hobbit. It would have been amazing. I already love The Hobbit, but it would have been so much better. We worked on Shape of Water and second season of The Strain by him. Dude, I'm so jealous of Laura right now. She's like living a life that I wish I could live. Pacific Rim tickles the part of my brain that was addicted to Power Rangers. Yes, that's fair. You know what? My son would probably love Pacific Rim. He loves Power Rangers.
I love kaiju movies. Like when I saw, I don't know that it's considered the newest Godzilla, but the first of the newest Godzillas. I was so angry through most of that movie. My husband could not stop laughing. I was like, where's Godzilla? I don't give a fuck about these people. I didn't come here for humans. I came here for a lizard. Oh, what do you mean you're not sure? I have been watching this movie for a half hour, and I have not seen my giant king lizard. Where the fuck is Godzilla?
That's
My husband could not stop. He's like, I didn't realize you liked Godzilla so much. And I'm like, sir, I love giant monsters fighting things. What? So that was the
I
day
think
my
I'm
husband
like,
learned a new thing about me.
yeah, I'm just so picky, like, because I would view kaiju movies as like sci-fi, right? I feel like it's I view them as sci-fi, and I'm already super picky with my sci-fi. Like, there's some things that I absolutely love and other things that I won't go near with a 10-foot pole. So it's like,
I would argue they're, I don't know, they've always felt like more supernatural because they're like myths and legends and folklore.
I guess it depends on where they come from, because there was, what was that other movie? There was one where it came from space, but it was basically just a kaiju movie. Cloverfield?
I hated that movie. That movie's sick. Never see the monster. What the fuck's the point?
Yeah, that annoyed me, but I loved that movie. I thought that was done really well. Like, the found footage type thing was like cool.
Okay, I was correct. Kaiju is a Japanese genre of films and television series featuring giant monsters. They're not technically sci-fi. It is its own genre.
Yeah, I guess maybe kaiju just isn't for me.
That's fair.
Which is sad.
To each their own.
All right. How about, should we try it? Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we're working.
I have very little lag suddenly, so we'll see if this works.
I've been reading your updated names in the corner. I love them. There are nothing if not bad examples has been my favorite.
Yeah, I was like, well, I can't type in the chat because that involves opening another window, and I can't turn my mic or camera on because that causes massive lag. What can I do? Oh, this might work. Yeah, it's been quite the time. But I just closed like 40 tabs on like the browser in my phone, and then suddenly it's working. So
yeah, that
that might do it. I mean, they were old tabs. They were old tabs. They'd been there for ages. They shouldn't have caused any
correlation does
right?
not equal causation.
Exactly.
But also
Exactly. Maybe. But like I did the same thing on my laptop when I was just hotspotting to my laptop, and the browser app on my phone wasn't even open, and it made no difference. So I don't know. Whoever had a technical difficulties thing on their bingo has definitely gotten it.
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean,
sci-fi and fantasy are the same thing. The only difference is how you explain the whooshy whoosh. And no one has been able to disprove me.
this is true. I would say that like when it comes to sci-fi, what I'm picky with is like Star Wars, my shit. Fucking love Star Wars. It's great. That's what I like about sci-fi. But when you get to stuff like Interstellar and like,
so you like
basically
space
just
operas.
humans getting their asses kicked by space, I don't like that.
So you like space operas?
I guess. I don't know.
It's a subgenre of sci-fi that I particularly love and enjoy. So
yeah.
And
I
Star Wars
would
is
say
fun.
probably yes.
Star Wars, I think is actually the like qualifier or the first one that was labeled a space opera, because like the term itself is very misleading. It's more like space western, right? But people were trying to like be assholes to nerds. So they were like, it's like an opera because those aren't cool. It's the opera in space, but it's space western.
The term I think originated from a film critic who was being derogatory about certain science fiction stories and comparing them to soap operas. So he was saying they're basically like a soap opera in space because there's no actual science involved and you're just making shit up. Or something along those lines.
Despite the fact my grandmother has watched soap operas my entire life, I forgot the word soap opera. I was like, it's an opera. In there. So thank you, Shar.
No, that's okay. If anyone listens to Writing Excuses, I'm pretty sure they did an episode on space opera where they did like a brief history of where the genre, like subgenre, comes from, which was really interesting. So check that out if you are a nerd like
Genres are merely a form of marketing micromanagement for organizing things. Therefore, they are my jam.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check that out. What'd you say they were called?
Writing Excuses. So it's a podcast. They do like 15-minute episodes every week, and it's run by Brandon Sanderson, Howard Taylor, Mary Robinette Cowell, and Dan something. I've forgotten his last name. But it's a bunch of science fiction and fantasy authors. Brandon Sanderson obviously being a very famous example. Who is currently viral in the internet sense, not the COVID sense.
Good thing for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who else follows like science fiction fantasy news stuff, but he did a Kickstarter for 4 books that he wrote in lockdown on top of everything else, and it broke like a bunch of records and went turned into the biggest Kickstarter that has ever been hosted by Kickstarter. So they're on like $27 million at the moment, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, lucky him, hey.
Yeah.
I can't get into
yeah.
his books. I have friends who are like rabid fans, and they keep telling me to read them, and I'm like, I've tried, but like, the first book is like half of the first book. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
but
I read Mistborn. I mean, I listened to the audio, which I find is a lot easier to kind of push through if you're not totally enjoying it. And I thought that was pretty good, but the ending was so solid in that one that I'm like, do I want to continue with it? Because I kind of feel like I don't really care or need to completely. So I don't know. And also, like, I predict the end of everything, so I already knew like where all the twists were going. And then Charlotte spoiled one of the main things for me before I read it. Yes, you did.
Spoiled.
And then
She has no memory.
well, I don't want to say it on stream.
Just spoil it for everyone else as well.
DM.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, Shah accidentally, I think, spoiled something for me.
It might have been in
so I already knew
the
that was
book club.
happening.
Because we did
No, I
do
think
it
it was
for book
just-
club.
I think it was just in the group chat. I think you
Oh,
and
yeah, that
Renee
makes
were talking
sense.
about it, and I just kind of looked at the wrong time. But
Yeah,
it's still your
that
fault.
makes sense.
And then one of the other things I like. Yeah.
Hey, you spoiled Addie LaRue for me though, so I feel like
I have read a
did
singular Brandon Sanderson book. I did not appreciate the way the book started out. I was very sir. And then I was very taken aback by the fact that the biggest plot twists in the book relied on me not paying attention to the skin tones of the character. And I was like, sir, you're not telling me this entire society forgot the skin tones of these people. And because, like, it's one. No, it's not even one thing. I don't care. Nobody should have forgotten. I'm like, you're telling me that this entire society did not realize there was a switcheroo that happened? Is that, sir? So I decided I needed not read anything else ever again because I'm like, nope, I'm good. I didn't gel with the style. Also, the age difference between the love interest, or between the main character and who I'm pretty sure was the love interest. And one of the characters' name is actually a racial slur. So I was like, oh, that's also not fun. So there's so many reasons
Which
I
book
decided
did you read?
I do not know the name of it. I purged. List them. Mistborn.
Well, the only ones. Mistborn?
Mistborn.
Interesting. Now I'm trying to think of which character names there are. Like, because I did not clock that.
The
as a thing.
ghosty one.
The ghost one.
I'll have to Google it
The
later.
name that is a synonym for ghost is also a racial slur for a dark-skinned person in the South of America.
Oh, well, that could be why
we didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
We don't really hear much of that over here.
Yeah.
Very, very much cultural difference, I think.
Yes.
Compared to Australia.
I wanted to give them the benefit of the
love
doubt,
interest
but
that you're thinking of is not. That's not the love interest.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Not.
No, that's definitely more of a found
Kind of
family father-daughter relationship.
that's
and
not who
mentor?
I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Y'all
No,
can't
that
read
there's
my
no other
mind.
romance in it.
Well, the only one that like
She was
is
very
the
heavily
actual one.
drooling over a noble boy, like so heavily drooling over the noble boy. Who at
That
that
wasn't a very big age difference, though.
It was still big enough that I was not down with it. Also, she kept comparing him to her brother,
What
and
is
that was a
that
little
noise?
icky for me.
It's probably a motorbike in the back of my.
Oh, okay.
We've got like
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the age difference was big enough that I kind of side-eyed it, and I like maybe I can forgive certain age differences. Except she also kept comparing him to her brother, and that was kind of a different kind of icky for me. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna know about it.
Lol.
We don't like go. I'd like to jump this man's bones, but also, oh, he reminds me so much of my brother.
What was the? Was that only like 2 years or something?
I think it was maybe maximum like 3 or 4.
He was in
Yeah.
his late teens, early 20s. She was in her mid-teens.
She was like 16, 17.
She's
That's
like
mid-teens.
16.
How do you define mid-teens?
Well, see, in Australia, you're an adult at 18. So
Okay.
Yeah.
You're an
Yeah.
adult at 18 in America too. That's still the
Yeah,
middle
but
of
we
your
have, like,
teens.
We have like lower drinking age and stuff as well. So there's like a lot more stuff at 18
That
that
Yeah.
you
has
can
nothing to do with when you're you are a teen from 13 to 19. Those are your teens. You are an adolescent from like 13 to 17, 18. But your teens are all of the numbers that end in teen.
yeah,
do.
I guess. But I mean,
So she's her mid-teens. She's like 16, 15. And he was in either his late teens or his early 20s. I don't remember exactly. But I remember it was a big enough age gap that I was like, And I also, the bigger problem was the comparison to the brother. The age thing. I watched Sailor Moon. I can forgive a bad age gap if I like the couple enough.
yeah, I mean, I was going to say.
But not the brother thing.
Yeah.
I read the first Stormlight book, and those books are so long that the publisher made him split the books into part 1 and part 2 and like publish them separately. And I was just like, if he was a woman, they would have made him cut half of it. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Yeah. That's yeah. Don't get me started on that, because oh my god, oh god, yeah. Sorry.
I cannot really comment on anything about Brandon Sanderson beyond Mistborn, but I will die on my hill.
Yeah, no, the whole like female, if it was a female author, would have been cut kind of thing. I just think of Jay Kristoff's latest book, and that just would not have been published, full stop, because that was a shit.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it's painful to think that was published. It had like what, 7, 8 different fucking ARC editions come out, and like 6 months of active marketing from publishers, him, ARC readers, everything else. And it was like fucking, oh my god, I can't even put into words how terrible that book was. And just, it literally makes me like physically shake and angry that book got published, because it was so bad. It was just so bad. Like, when you have a 30-something-year-old character who's literally acting like a thirsty 16-year-old, and this, keep in mind, this 30-something-year-old character has also already had a child, been married, literally lived a life, and then they revert back to like teen years for no particular reason. I was just like, oh god.
To be fair, I have met some men like that, so
yeah.
Like,
I think most men are like that. It's like that chart that you see of like women as they age up, so do the people they're attracted to, and then it's like men, doesn't matter how old they get, it's like 21 is like peak.
Yeah. It was also kind of like just the treatment of women in the book in general, and then how much of his audience is like majority female. And I'm like, how is no one else complaining about this? Like, there was one character that like didn't like call him any names at all, because they didn't like they thought it was a guy, so they didn't say any names or whatever. And then the second they found out that it was a girl, instantly gets called a bitch. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck?
on the like, why aren't people complaining about this? I feel you. I scoured the internet. I
Mm.
was, because like when I read Mistborn, I'm like, no, I have to be wrong. I can't be right. I have to be wrong. This is not what the like thing. But I looked and I'm like, no, this is, why is nobody talking about how this plot point literally hinges on me not paying attention to characters' skin tones? Like,
I also can't
Mm.
remember what that plot point is.
I don't remember that ever being a plot
Okay.
point. Like, I don't, yeah.
Here's the thing. So there is a light-skinned guy who is supposed to be the savior, the hero, the guy that like everything happened to. But like somehow he went mental, he like became corrupt and everything, right? Well, while he's going on his journey, he has a dark-skinned companion whom is being foreshadowed that he's going to betray him, right? And then eventually he does betray him and he becomes the evil king dude. But it is like passed down in stories, and everybody who knows that it's the light-skinned guy who was the savior, who is now the king and everything. But then she sees him and he's the dark-skinned guy with all of his cultural jewelry and everything. And I'm like, and you're telling me that the society that speaks of this light-skinned savior with his very important cultural thing, and none of them connected that he was murdered and betrayed by his companion, who's basically 180 to his.
Yeah.
So
But wasn't he using an illusion?
I don't remember.
He was
I
using
don't
like an
think
astral
it was
projection.
connected. Yeah, I don't think it was connected to the skin tone of the character per se, but when she realizes it's in an astral projection of his former self.
Yeah, but
So the
his
current
former self
version that they're
still
seeing
looks like him.
is no, the current version of him doesn't look like that anymore at all. And he literally wiped any knowledge of his prior existence from like through genocide from the entire
that was not
area.
how I understood it as I was reading it, and that's like
I feel like that might be more information that comes up in the second two books, so it might have not been in the first book. Like
I feel like that's very important information for the first book.
Because I read them all together, I can't remember what's in what book.
If
but
I'm wrong,
know
I'm sorry, but
the way that she figures it out is
it had really, really bothered me, and I like looked into it, and when you look up like art and pictures and everything,
it could be that they've re-edited it and the versions that we've read have been edited and changed.
Different, potentially.
Who knows? It could have been a different edition. But yeah, it from my understanding, it was an astral projection. So no one had actually seen who the Lord Ruler was. It was like he was projecting this image of like what everyone else was meant to believe it was, and blah 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 blah.
I think the information that comes up in the later books is about the like getting rid of the records per se. Like I don't think that comes up in the first one, but I remember very specifically the first one, the way that she figures it out is by burning a metal that they haven't been able to figure out like how you would use it. And then she burns it and works out what it does. It's kind of odd. And then she uses it randomly at the end and is able to see his astral projections. And the reason people don't really use it much is because it weirds them out, because it shows you like your future and past selves. And she sees his ones and recognizes the clothing of the terrace people, which is how she figures it out. Because the hero wasn't a terrace man. So it is linked to culture.
I'm remembering everything you're saying except the astral projection. That's literally the only thing that does not ring a bell at all. And I'm like, I don't remember that in the first book at all, or them.
Well, because it's like a young figure is what
gold.
they see, but then the guy is like super old and crusty.
What I remember is that they describe him as being old and wrinkly and crusty. But just because you're old and wrinkly and crusty doesn't mean you start looking like a different race.
This is true. But like that's where the astral projection thing comes in, because like he doesn't physically leave the palace, so you only see his true form in the throne room.
But his old wrinkly self is still wearing all of his cultural things. Like the hints are there. You as a reader should know. She can figure it out. She doesn't need to see his younger self to see that he's a terraceman. Like that's a very weak argument for me.
I don't know. I don't
remember. I don't remember him
It wasn't
wearing the
like-
same stuff.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't.
I don't think he
Yeah, I
was
don't
wearing
know.
the same stuff in the Astral
Could
Projections
very
he
well be
wore
different
as
editions
the
that
Lord
they've
Ruler.
changed.
That's quite possible.
Mm.
But yeah, we're remembering
have
things
been-
very differently.
Yeah.
Like I
But,
said,
like,
if I'm wrong, I don't particularly
debate-
care. I
yeah.
just remember this being a point and it being the reason that I like. Well, one of many reasons that I was like, yeah, I don't need to read book 2.
I mean, debate aside, his books aren't going to be for everyone, regardless of like plot issues and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. But like but it could be again like different editions. They've made changes because he definitely would not be the first fantasy author who's gone back and changed editions and added more stuff and all that kind of stuff. I mean, fucking Raymond E. Feist, his first book, Magician, was like 300 pages when it was published, and now it's like 900 pages. So, you know, it's God. That
Not
book was
changed at all. Exact same.
No,
Extremely
exactly the same. We just added 600 fucking pages of nothing, I might add. That was, I don't recommend anyone read Magician because holy shit, that was a nightmare. It's my partner's favorite book and I feel terrible, but that was the worst fucking book. It was so long for no reason. Yeah. Magician, cough, cough. Yes, exactly. And it's called the author's preferred edition. That's literally the 900 page is the author's preferred edition.
That's like George
The
Lucas's
author's
edits
ego.
at Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
like, just leave it alone, George. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, don't touch it anymore. It's hilarious.
Or the Peter
Alright.
Jackson version of The Hobbit.
Yes.
Well, that was studio interference. But the extended
This is
editions,
true.
yeah. That once you get to the extended editions, then it's his fault. But it was also the studio interference pushing him to make the trilogy instead of making. I think he wanted to do a duology at first, and then they were like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
he
no, make
did.
the trilogy." And it was like, "Well, fuck, I don't have that much source material, so." Yeah, then we get the elf dwarf thing, you know, which was fine, but just not handled great. But yeah, let's do 15 minutes because I want to use this pretty timer. And was it 15 minutes I had left, Sam?
Yes.
Yes. Haha. I'm still on track. Yeah, let's do 15 minutes sprint, and then we still have some time to chat after. Let's do it. Ugh, that scared the crap out of me. I don't know why. I'm
I
so
thought we were having a
jumpy with
thunderstorm outside. I was like, oh, that
But
came
you're in
out of nowhere.
Queensland, that would make sense for me, for you, but not for
Yeah.
me.
It's like, oh, the rainbow.
It's like it's also just like a nice quiet rumble as well. It's not like a loud. I don't know why I'm so jumpy when I have these timers on. I
You
sometimes
never know what you
use-
get with them. They'll like be silent, and then they get to the end, and they're like, ah, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's true. Like the Among Us one I use, where the thing is like really loud.
I
That-
mute them. They're not allowed.
Oh my god, that makes me jump out of my skin. Yeah, Shah disappeared. I'll be back. Just need to let my phone chill for a minute. Okay, that was a few minutes ago. I don't know if I don't think she'll come back. Hello.
Hey.
Well, thank you. I was very productive by getting coffee and watching TikToks. Nice. The thunder is definitely nicer than a lot of the other timers that like just have a very loud noise. But again, I'm clearly just a very jumpy person because that scared the absolute crap out of me. How did you guys go? I didn't really get anything done then.
Well, I was trying to secure the internet for information on Lord Ruler, because I really just wanted to know if I misremembered. I have no definitives. I could not find information on astral projection for him or an illusion. I could not find anything that said that this didn't happen either. So it's like, without rereading the book. But
yeah, well, she's got time for that.
I don't.
You could always just get the audiobook and then just skip forward.
Just go right
Find
to
the chapter.
I'm not giving him money, and I have to wait 6 months at my library. But
True.
but I'm very intrigued as to if it is an edition thing or because yeah, I very distinctly remember what his magic did in the version I read, which is why I'm so confused. So
yeah, I'm curious about that too because I know that happened with what was it called? Deadly Education. That's already had a couple of editions
really
because they took stuff out. But that was a recent book too. But yeah.
What I do know is my friend who's like Brandon Sanderson rabid fan is obsessed with Stormlight Archives, which is why I read Stormlight, and they read Mistborn and didn't like it as much. So that might say something else for Mistborn as well.
Yeah, this is true. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was like the most amazing thing ever, but it was better than literally anything else I've read in the last 5 years, but that's not saying much to be fair. So
I feel like if people like really heavy world building and not much else, then they like Brandon Sanderson and tortured characters.
I was not allowed to tell my sister about the magic in Brandon Sanderson because she has an engineering degree and it angers her.
I did find it, yeah, the whole like eating metal thing and like that
That's
giving
not
you
the part that
abilities.
angers her. What angers her is which metals do what and how on a scientific level these don't make sense and it would make more sense to do these other things. And I'm like, I'm trying to complain to you about this dude, and she's like, but I need to know, what does the copper do again? I'm like, I have to go back and reread because I didn't pay attention to that part because I didn't care.
Yeah,
I'll
that
admit
definitely
it.
bugged me.
I don't, if there's a certain part of a world building I don't care about, I won't. I'm like, I don't need to know why. I just need to know she eats it and it does the thing. I don't care about the why.
The clean cover ones are newer versions that are a bit longer, and the only difference other than the new covers is that in the end of each book they added the first chapter of Skyward as an advertisement. So it should be the same ending. I don't know why we have two completely different ideas of what happened at the end.
It's the Mandela effect.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, I feel it like, yeah, I don't know if I'll continue with the series because like it was alright, but like again, it wasn't like mind-blowingly amazing like everyone hyped it up to be. There are better ways to fix on your cool magic systems, world building, and or tortured characters than Sanderson. Fair enough.
Yep.
Really heavy world building and nothing else is the perfect description. Yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, I'm usually more of a character reader, which is probably why I was a little bit not so attached to it. And then I think what made me enjoy it more was the audiobook performance was really good. So he gave the characters more character, which is probably why I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more, which I'm thinking maybe isn't my only issue with audiobooks is that if the narrator is really good, I'll probably enjoy it more than I actually would have if I'd physically read the book.
I found that with the Midnight Library too. I don't know if you guys read that one, but Carrie Mulligan read the audiobook and I love her performance. She does like all the accents and stuff and it's really good. But then I bought the hard copy and started trying to read it and I was like, oh, this character does not feel as relatable on paper as she did in the audiobook. So I was like, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think the performance definitely changes it. And I read Nevermore recently by Jessica Townsend. It's like a middle grade book about a thing, competition, whatever. I've tried reading the paperback before and I still enjoyed it, but the performance that the narrator did, absolutely amazing. Like it was just added a whole new element to the book and it was just so good. I highly recommend the Nevermore audiobook to parents for like middle grade kind of kids because it was like one of the best things I've ever listened to. The performance was like absolutely amazing. It was so good.
Because of something Malin said about this being a Brandon Sanderson bash fest, I want to make it very clear. I know nothing about him. I have read none of his books. And apparently, I don't even necessarily know that I can trust my memory of the reason I hated Mistborn. So take anything I say with a grain of salt.
Look, it happens on my streams, okay? For some reason, I don't know. Is it me?
No, I just feel it's very important for me. It's very important that I make my stance on certain things clear because I never have, nor will I ever join in bashing authors I know nothing about and I have not read most of their work.
Yeah.
If I hate something, I have reason and I am informed.
Yes. And that is completely fair. I would also just add to that for the sake of my own character. I would be someone that would pick up on those issues as well. So I'm surprised that I didn't.
Well, in slight defense of you are Australian. There are a lot of problematic issues in Mistborn. I, growing up in the Southern America, picked up immediately the beginning of Mistborn. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is an issue all in its own.
And y'all didn't pick up on the one person who has a slur for a name, and the reason the character has that nickname is because they move like a ghost and they're silent, and that is identical to why that word became a slur in the Southern United States. So I was very not okay with that when I read it, and that's like a cultural nuance. And he's American, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. How much I know about him.
My issue isn't with Brandon Sanderson as an author at all. It's more with the overall, if he was a woman, his books would not look the way that they do. If they were published at all, they would have been edited down. He would not have been allowed to split books into multiple books. If he was a woman, it just wouldn't have happened. And that's my issue with it. Like, maybe, I don't know, I think it's because I'm an editor as well, so it really frustrates me when male authors go on and on and on, and I just know if it was a woman, she wouldn't have been allowed to do it. So yeah, that's my thing.
And I have mixed feelings about his Kickstarter thing, because I may be hated for this. I don't think there's a problem with him doing it, because it's just, you're asking your fans to support. Like, if you want this thing, I need help achieving it, do it. I have a problem with the way he because the way he goes about it basically feels like he's throwing a giant hissy fit. He's like, well, the publishing company wouldn't let me do what I'm doing, so now I'm asking you all to help me, like, fund all of this, especially when, like, there's self-published authors in so many other communities with so many less opportunities that, like, just can't get that backing, and, you know, we do have to work a lot harder and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, he did it's hard to say, like, he earned his place and everything, but, like, still, he has his career. However he got his career, it's his career. He built up his fan base and everything. So it's like, the principle of the matter, I think he should be able to. His attitude, though, he sounded like a toddler. So, or like, it felt like a toddler to me. So.
Yeah, I think it depends on how much of it was like show, you know, kind of showmanship type thing.
I think a lot was meant to be humor, but it again depends on how you read that.
For clarity,
I did watch the video. It's been like a couple of weeks since I saw it. Pardon?
I said I didn't watch him. I read an article that quoted him. So I I'm going strictly off of the words.
No, the video itself was very tongue-in-cheek. I don't remember what they might have quoted, like, word for word, but from watching the entire video, it wasn't a case of being like, fuck you, traditional publishing. It was more like,
no, that's not.
We want to do our own thing with these ones, and we will go back to TradPub for other stuff. So, but then again, he's not going to be for everyone.
No, exactly. But I think for me, the biggest issue that I had kind of with it, or not biggest issue, the issue I had with it was kind of the idea that he needed backup support from fans to do it, despite the fact that he is already a very wealthy writer. He would definitely have the money to have self-published it without the Kickstarter and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So to me, it just kind of came off like, I don't want to put my own money into it. I want your money to go into it so I can do this thing for you.
Like a privileged baby throwing a tantrum.
Yeah. So it was kind
and then
of like,
also those same friends are going to buy the books. So not only is he going to have the money from the Kickstarter, but also the sales of the books. Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know if they're actually releasing the books separately.
Okay.
Yeah, no. That if you sign up for the Kickstarter, that's your money for the book as well.
Oh, okay, that's better.
So all of the
I don't
That's
know.
what I had assumed.
I don't think they're actually going to be releasing them particularly broadly outside of the Kickstarter either. So it is an exclusive release, limited release. They also have, like, they've bundled this Kickstarter, so they've done it as you've got the 4 books, but they've also got like a subscription box thing that's like based around their like fandom themes subscription boxes, which is something that apparently his audience has been asking for a long time. So it's like a limited subscription box thing and a limited release for books, which will probably not be available straight away afterwards, but limited print release afterwards. You'll probably still be able to get the ebooks, but
I think that just keeps me very solidly in my mix of principle wise, he should be able to do it, like, you know, but his reasoning.
Yes, I love that comment.
Shake the feeling, and I cannot explain it, but it's just that's how it feels.
Yeah, this comment is exactly how I feel about it. It's like, oh, I want to self-publish this thing, but it costs so much money to self-publish. Can you please give me your money so I can self-publish these things? And it's like, there are so many fucking self-published authors out there putting their fucking hard-earned money into it when they might not have much hard-earned money. Like, I think for me, because, you know, I'm quite lucky in that all I've had to pay for is editing, and it feels weird when Danikka's right here. I'm not bashing the prices or anything, but, you know, editing is expensive for anyone, you know, from any editor. It is quite pricey to have your book edited. So, you know, I think for me, and being so fresh off, I've just paid for my editing, and, you know, I'm, you know, feeling the crunch a little bit, to then have him be like, no, I need money to self-publish my books. It's like, fuck you.
I will
That's not cool.
I will admit that I am mildly irrationally salty that his Kickstarter has outdone Critical Role's records.
Yes, I'm very salty about that too.
Fuck that. But I am self-aware enough to know that I'm just salty. It's irrational and has nothing to do with anything. I'm just a Crit Role fangirl. But like, all feels are valid.
A lot of Kickstarters as well will be like aimed very specifically at a very small niche, targeted like at Brandon Sanderson fans. So if you're in that niche, like, I can see how it's hit, like how it has, because if you're in that niche, the way he's targeted his marketing is aimed at them and works for them. Whereas people outside of that niche, it can be like alienating to a point, and you can be like, I don't see the point in this. But also, a lot of the stuff that he's done is in line with how Kickstarter is often operated. Like, the classic Kickstarter video is like, this is what I need the money for, sort of thing, and that's just a format of
from what y'all are saying. It sounds like just a normal Kickstarter. It's just a normal Kickstarter.
It pretty much is,
made by a man who has the means to self-publish his own book, but like, his fans are getting a lot more than the book. I remember, I'm irrationally salty. I don't want to defend him at all, but
I think, but in the world of publishing, and especially self-publishing, being that majority of the people here are looking at self-publishing, if not are in the process of self-publishing, it is exactly like Stig says, it just is a little tone deaf towards self-publishing authors, definitely. And I think, you know, the idea of, like, a lot of people are like, oh, this could change publishing. It's like, no, people are already fucking doing this. Don't ignore this whole group of authors who have been doing this for years.
They think he's going to change the face.
Yeah, exactly. That's my issue with it, is how big people are making it outside of what it is. Like, cool for the fans. They're getting some extra stuff. They're getting what they want from him. If they're happy to give him their money, all for them. Like, good for you. Be happy with your purchases, blah, blah, blah. Do what you want with your money. It's your money. But it's the response that it's getting from everyone else, where it's, oh my God, this is so amazing. Why haven't more authors done this? Oh, self-publishing? What even is that? It's like, fuck off. Don't do that.
Yeah. You have to be in a very unique position to have a Kickstarter that gets $27 million funded in 2 days. Yeah. Like, that in itself is huge. And like, people have broken records on Kickstarter before. Amanda Palmer is someone who was one of the first people to break records, and that was with a $1 million Kickstarter. Her story is really interesting because she got a lot of media criticism and a lot of flack for that. But she's a musician, so she was doing an album, and it was a very interesting situation in that I think in the end she ended up losing money on it, even though it was a $1 million Kickstarter, because she delivered everything that she promised. And when they promised stuff, it was like, we'll ship a record player to you for this high tier one anywhere in the world. And like, the shipping costs were huge. But Kickstarter is interesting as well. It's, I think if it does have any impact on the publishing industry, the most interesting one will be on the traditional publishing industry, not self-publishing, because self-publishing has already been doing it the entire time. But I think it'll probably shake up a bit of traditional publishing, particularly of authors who are on a higher level, like who can get the book deals relatively easily, looking at like maybe not, and leaving money with the publishers to like maybe fund other authors rather than going through there, or I don't know. I guess
So-
them going with book deals does end up with more money in the publishers for other authors as well, but it'll
So
be
go
interesting to see how it plays out.
a little not an anecdote because that's like a personal thing, but like kind of going back to like the whole, because he's a man, he can do certain things. He's doing this Kickstarter because he's just like, okay, well, I don't want to deal with the traditional publishing for this project because they won't let me do it the way that I want to do it. So I'm gonna make it, talk to the fans and stuff. I know of 3 female authors who left traditional publishing because they wanted to write their books the way that they wanted to write them. And they had to like fight with publishers to try to get rights back to their series so that they could finish their series. And like they struggled to try to self-publish and everything. And it's like one must wonder if this does add into all of that, because like with people talking about him as if he's the first traditionally published author to do this, when it's like, no, it's not even new. One of the ones I'm talking about started doing it when my oldest was born, and he's 10.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's even the first time that he specifically has self-published. Like, I'm pretty sure there's been other books that just didn't go viral.
The more I hear about this, the less I'm like, sir. I hated your book, but I was going to defend the principle of the matter, but now...
Yeah, I also feel like because he's doing like the book boxes and like all of that kind of stuff, it's like, why didn't he reach out to a small business or like a smaller company that could have done it for him, and they could have bought, a whole new customer base to these? Because I find a lot of book boxes are very much geared toward a female audience or a YA audience, and this could have been a good way to bring it to, the bigger adult fantasy audience, a bigger male audience, all of that kind of stuff. And like, it just could have been really good for a small business to have had that kind of attention and that growth. And instead is kind of like, I can respect like doing it yourself. Obviously I'm doing everything apart from the editing myself, like I like doing things myself and having control over it. But at the same time, it's like, if you have the money to invest in it yourself, why not give it to someone else who might need it or could better profit off it? Or, like, I don't understand the way of thinking in that, I'll get other people to do it so I don't have to put any of my money into it, and then it'll just be good, it'll even out or whatever, like I would rather bring someone else up with me than just bring myself higher.
Agreed. I'm also just really curious about what they won't let him do.
Yeah, because look at how much they do let him do.
Like, they let him get away with so much. And I have this thought because I was thinking of the one female author who, she was like writing a supernatural or a paranormal romance series, and like her main character was polyamorous and had 3 husbands, and one of them was a yokai, and there was furry sex written out on page, and there was so much in that series, and she's like, and the publisher won't let me write like the next, like there's things that they said that I can't add, and I'm like, what did they tell you no to? What was their lie? So now I'm like, hearing everything that Brandon's already done in publishing, I'm like, what did they say no to?
Yeah. I wonder if, like, look, it could be something good. Like, it could just be that he wanted to focus more on, like, a romance story. And his publisher was like, no, you don't really do romance in the other one. So, like, we don't want you to kind of do that more. I don't know. It could be something as simple as that. Like, I don't know.
For the record, I wasn't assuming
trying to put some kind of...
I just want to know.
No, I know. I'm just trying to, like, think of it myself out loud. Like, what could it have been? But... traditional publishing is so strict on their contracts that it could be something as fucking stupid as that. It's like, oh, you want to have a female main character that has an actual good romantic arc and has a healthy romance and blah, blah, blah. No, we don't want that. That's not going to sell. Like, it could be something as stupid as that.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't
just
know
like
much of the details at all.
I think traditional publishing is going to change a lot over the next few years, though, because they can't keep having these kinds of losses. Like,
yeah, big time.
I think
And
he
how many
does have
books
his own-
recently? Yeah, he has his own imprint as well, so I don't know why he didn't just do it through whatever.
No, he is. He's doing it through Dragonsteel, which is his own company.
Okay. Yeah.
So in terms of small business, I guess they're not the smallest business, but he does have like a small amount of staff that will benefit from the Kickstarter. I don't know what the case is with the gift boxes, whether they're outsourcing to a company once they have all of the orders, be like, we have this many orders for a gift box on this theme, and we have this much money. Can you fill it for us? Because that would make sense in a lot of ways, but I haven't been bothered to read all of the like stuff that was put out about it. I just looked at what they're offering. I was like, oh, that looks all right. I think Kickstarter is an interesting one. It's weird for books because like you don't see it a lot. I see it a lot more because I'm in performing arts, and it's fantastic for that. Anything that's like doing an album or putting a show on, it's basically pre-selling tickets or records, because the way that it works in that scenario, which I guess is similar and carries across to books, is that you have an artist who has established an audience base. A friend of mine actually did one recently and it went really well. They have the tracks or the material that they want to produce properly into a CD, like a produced record, and they don't necessarily have the money up front to pay for things like studio hire, mixing, recording, and getting all of the professional work done, which for books is something that the publisher usually handles, and there's stuff that Emmy's doing all of the time, so editors, all of that stuff. For the music ones, it's a little different because sometimes you can hear demos of the tracks and stuff before and be like, yes, I want proper produced versions of this person's album, which was the case with a friend of mine who just did it. What Kickstarter allows artists to do is, rather than having to like fight their way into the like commercial label industry, which for my friend who is a queer neurodivergent artist and writes songs about being a queer neurodivergent person, they would look at that and be like, probably not. Like a lot of the traditional labels wouldn't be down for her music, and her music is like great indie pop sort of stuff. What Kickstarter allows her to do is the fan base that she's already assembled can pre-buy her album, and then she has the money, once the Kickstarter is funded, to go produce the album, get the records made. She also did a bunch of merch as well, and then send that out to the people who's bought it already. And she also managed to, I think, have like more than was ordered on the Kickstarter, so she then was able to, as like a self-employed person, sell her CDs that she'd had. So it works really great for small artists. For bigger ones, it's
for bigger ones, when you've got a team behind you, though, is probably easier. Like,
it is a lot easier to manage.
Yeah,
it is a lot easier to manage. And look, when you've got a team that size, if you're undertaking, say, publishing 4 books, there is like probably quite a lot of money that is needed up front to do that, which maybe he doesn't have, because I know like internet is notorious for overestimating people's self-worth. But yeah,
self-worth or financial worth?
Net worth.
Thank you.
Or self-worth and net worth, really.
But see, okay, so the tax thing, but wouldn't it all be tax deductible, because technically it would be like a business expense? Although I don't know how
it would still be taxable income. It would be taxable income, so there would be a portion of it that would be paying tax. Any profit that is made for each individual person is getting taxed as income tax.
The general advice in the US is to, anytime you get paid for anything as a small business owner, put a third aside.
Yeah.
Because taxes become
similar, yeah. But yeah, I'm imagining what's for his specific scenario, they're gonna once the Kickstarter term is like is closed, they'll take that money, but they'll also have, what was it, like 200,000 orders of books that they have to print and produce, and so they'll use that to fund the editing, the production costs of printing, the audiobook production, all of that stuff, as well as the gift box creation, and to pay all of the staff who work on those before they make a profit. And then anything after that is then the money that they make, which goes into a profit and is split however they split it. So there's a lot of stuff that he's got to go make and send to people now. So they're probably gonna be hiring more people.
Yeah, but then it's like, once this is done, if this is the only time he's going to do it, then they're all going to lose their jobs in a couple of months.
Well, I don't know if he would hire more people on a permanent basis. It would probably go to
contractual.
contractors.
Yeah, contractor,
Yeah.
freelancers, people who are used to getting jobs and finding new jobs.
Which then, if you're working as a freelancer and you work on a Brandon Sanderson thing, you've got like the recommendation in the industry probably.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
that would be a good one to have, working in publishing as a freelancer.
Yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. Like, you know, it can be expensive, but I'm sure he can, you know, pay what, like,
he'd have so many connections as well.
Yeah, like what, maybe 15 grand max. That's probably an overestimation for like editing all of the books. And like,
oh, I was like, one book,
yeah.
Emmy?
No, I meant like 4 to 5. No, 4 or 4.
It's like, I'm undercharging.
No.
What have you got?
Like about those
covers, audio.
Yeah, and then there's like the audiobooks, and then so I mean, really, the full expense would probably be like, I mean, overestimating, like maybe 50K, right? Let's say that, with illustrations, covers, all of that kind of stuff, like 50K. And now
and the printing and shipping. Yeah.
Plus printing and shipping, which is going to be in the millions, I think, with the amount that's been ordered.
Yeah, but it's still not quite 27 million.
Well, you still got to pay all the staff, and you've still got to make all the gift boxes.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay the staff if you're sending it to other companies. That's the thing. Like, if you're printing it for another company,
hold on.
you don't have to pay the staff.
Hold on. I know that I don't know a whole lot about most of this, but I do back quite a few Kickstarters. His initial request was for $1 million. That initial request should cover everything he promised, which means the additional, what was it, 26 million? Because 27 in total, which means the additional 26 million does not enter the equation for the rest of this unless he decides to foot the bill for higher quality materials and whatnot. Because when you start a Kickstarter, your predicted asking price needs to cover everything you are promising Kickstarter backers, or you can get sued for fraud. So he shouldn't but like
the only flaw in that argument is that the initial figure would have been based on a predicted number of sales which has been exceeded.
Oh, I was about to add to that, but like the increased volume is not equal to the spending cost, because the spending cost for creating and everything is covered in that million. The extra should now just be production cost, which would be far smaller. So he's still making
he's getting a higher profit margin.
Profit margin. So
he's getting a much higher profit margin on the 26 additional million that they got than on the first.
Like, I'm not saying he's pocketing all of the 26 million, just that like a very large portion of it is unneeded unless he is choosing to use it to invest in higher quality materials and whatnot for the projects.
Yeah, which you'd hope. Like, you'd want to get a keychain or something and it breaks in 2 seconds. If it's from like a $27 million Kickstarter.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you
Oh,
imagine
yeah,
the
but-
unboxing reviews?
no. It would be so bad. It's like, oh, this broke in 2 seconds. Oh my god. Yeah, so like, God, the criticism that will happen if it doesn't end up being that great, like, oh no, I wouldn't risk that. It's such a risk. Like, you've got to respect him for the risk that is kind of coming with it. Like, yeah, you've got diehard fans, but like, if you put out something that's shit that they've paid for in advance, they're not gonna be diehard fans anymore.
No. Yeah, I don't think he's one to really skimp on quality, considering prior projects I know he's worked on where they've specifically gone with like very small press people to do limited release, high quality hardcovers and stuff like that, where they've been very conscious of like the quality of the items. And I think they do that on a lot of his books because he has such a huge fan base, and there's like a small portion that are very much into collector's items. From what I know, which is a very surface level knowledge from listening to the podcast for the last 2 years, they do put effort into having limited release items that are of like a really high standard collector's quality for that market. And I think they often have some of them which are like charity based ones where they have options for stuff as well. But also, I'm not like one of the diehard stans, so I have no idea on a lot of the details. But the impression that I get from it is that he's not one to skimp on quality for an extra 50k.
Yeah, well, we can hope.
We'll find out. It could very well be like, considering what's at stake if he did do that, I feel like he's smart enough not to, at least in that one facet.
I don't know. There is nothing quite as oppressive as the ego and confidence of a mediocre man.
This is true. This is very true.
Very true.
That's just a saying I enjoy. Not an actual commentary on Sanderson, because like I said, I know nothing about him.
And yeah, his books are definitely targeted to a specific niche that enjoys the very, very long epic fantasy with a lot of description. And given his demographic as a person, a lot of that audience is going to be similar, which is just going to be like, it's just going to mean that people who are in his demographic of audience aren't necessarily going to notice as many of the issues with his books as people outside it. And that'll be why people outside it don't read his books. But yeah, the ones I've read have been okay. His second Mistborn series is a lot better than the first. It's a lot less long-winded, like it gets to the point. I was reading going, shit, that was quick, that was half the length. He gets to the point a lot more. He has better female characters, and he's made conscious steps, I think, to improve his representation and his sort of diversity over the years as well. So it is what it is, really. And it's never going to be for every reader out there. It's just going to be a specific niche.
I have personally never heard of writer boxes. I've heard of book boxes, but not specifically writer
I've heard of book boxes.
Yeah. I also feel like if there are any, they're probably not Australian, and they're probably really expensive.
Yeah, that's the thing about being in Australia, is it's really hard to get a lot of these boxes because the shipping to Australia is just, it costs more than the product. Before we had Amazon in Australia, I remember there was a book I really wanted that was from the US, and the book was like $12 or something, and I paid $40 in shipping to get this book because I really wanted it.
Yeah, Scribbler, I think, is a writing box. I mean, to answer your question, Sieg, no, I am too poor with too many other priorities. But Scribbler is the only one I can think of that exists.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What comes in a writer's box? Is it like?
Well, the Scribbler writer box comes with like notepads, bookmarks, writer things. There's you get access to a mentor of some, like a digital they like do a live stream or something, and you can like learn from somebody who's in the industry. I don't 100% know, having never had one, but I have seen people who open them, and I vaguely recall these things. That's all I can remember.
Ooh, it is. Yeah. Ho-ho.
Mm.
Expansive. I'm looking at it right now.
Mm.
I don't know where. Yeah. It's like $30 a month.
Hmm.
RA says, House says that they got a 3-month sub to Scribbler. The box was $40, the shipping was $80.
Mm.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
Yeah. Also, Stig's comment, yes, it is the second Mistborn one. And yes, he does do that, but he does twist it later on in the series. And I can see how that would put people off. But the other female characters that come in later chapters who don't get it does open with what appears to be the fridging of a character, which I don't want to drop major spoilers because I already accidentally spoiled one for Emmy apparently. But
I'm not going to
it
read
is a
it.
plot
Is
twist
she
later
really
on.
dead?
Yeah. Pardon?
I said
She's
I'm not
really
going to
dead.
read it.
No.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Sorry to chat.
Massive
Oh,
spoilers.
I
Massive
totally
spoilers to anyone who
predicted
cares,
that
which
already.
I don't think is anyone here.
Yeah.
But his other female
yeah, no, I'm not
characters
continuing.
are better
How
developed.
dare you,
Yeah.
Char? I didn't want to know that spoiler I asked you for. Offended?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
fucking
I know exactly what you're talking about now. I already predicted that, like, from the start of the book. The first book.
Have you read the
No, I haven't read the second one.
Mistborn series?
Oh, that's the
No.
okay. It's
I
the
already-
digital stream with someone in the industry. Thank you, Steve.
Like editors, publishers. Oh, from the book thing. Oh,
From
yeah,
the Scribbler box.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's only one
Ah.
book down the line, Stick, but yeah, it still is basically a fridging in the first book.
Mm.
I
bought one book
A
box
perceived
once
fridging.
because it was a special edition of like my favorite book series, and it was from the UK. The box was, I think it was $70, and the shipping I think was also $70.
Mm.
But they were really pretty. They were my favorite colors. It was my favorite book series, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it." It was I think it came out like after I'd finished, like completed the first draft of Ashwood, or like the first lot of like beta reading or something. So it was a present to myself for not being a piece of shit. So yeah, it was great. But I think we are getting close to cutoff time for stream because it is almost 2.5 hours. I have 10 minutes, I believe.
I think. Oh, yes, technically.
Yes.
I was going to say 11.
So
No, you're 15. Wait, no, I can't
15?
math. You're right.
no, you've been awake for too long. I don't trust your maths. I don't trust my own either, but you know, it's better than yours slightly at the moment.
My math is
Technically,
excellent an
technically
hour
10
ago.
minutes and 30 seconds.
10 minutes according to my time, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. I hope you got some words done for the Writeathon. The next stream and the play. Well, I don't think I have the next stream, but I have the playlist linked in the description, as well as all the other Writeathon links that you need. The Instagram, the Discord, I believe. All the things are there. Make sure you subscribe to the Writeathon channel so we can get the community tab, please. Make Sam shut up.
Made me happy. Look, I will share with you so the history of the goal setting for the subscriptions for March. We were at like 312. Jess was like, I'd be happy with 320, and I'm like, no. We will have 350. My potentially viable goal is 400. My ambitious goal is 450, and my ambitious goal is 500.
Yeah. Is that is 500 the community tab?
500 is the community tab, yes.
Right.
Which
500.
Ambitious is just it's a term that I started using one day to describe goals that are maybe not actually viable, but damn it, I rebel against the universe so hard I get them sometimes. So we're at 440.
Ooh, we're getting close. Yes. Make sure you subscribe to the Writeathon channel so we can get I forgot the word.
tab.
Community tab. That's the thing. What else do I have linked down below? I have the Goodreads page for my book is down there. My book, which Danikka also edited. So we both can sit here and, I don't know, take the glory for that.
Yeah, no.
Stare at it.
What else is there? Everyone's here's links are down below as well. Danikka's website for her editing and author coaching service also linked below. There's a bunch of charities linked below. It'd be really great if you could check some of those out and maybe consider donating. I've also added some new ones. If you're a regular on my channel, I think I added 3 new ones, so you can check those out as well. I think that's it. So
I do no pressure coffee chats too, guys. So like if you are wanting to like just talk to an editor about what it would be like or what even author coaching is, my coffee chats are no pressure. I don't do sales pitches because I just find that really sleazy. So it's like you come on and I'll chat to you about just like your publishing goals and kind of help point you in the right direction with like no need to make any purchases or anything from me afterwards. It's just to make connections because I live in the middle of nowhere as well and don't know any authors or editors or anyone in the publishing industry locally. All of my friends in the industry are all spread all over the world. So I just like making connections as well. So I'm here if you ever need to chat. That link is down below with my website and is all over my website as well.
And as someone who has worked with Danikka, I do recommend. It was a great time working together, and she did a great job on my book. And
It was really fun.
I can confirm that Emmy is telling the truth because I haven't, but I've heard all of Emmy's like raving about it in the group chat for the last 6 months. So
there you go.
And I can confirm that Ashwood and Brimstone is really, really good. You guys, like, I have never read anything as gory as Ashwood before. Like when Em first booked her chat and she was like, oh, it's a bit gory. And I was like, I'll see how I go. But it's actually really good. Like now I'm like actually into that stuff, which I never thought anything would get me into, like zombies and stuff. But it's so good. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else want to do outros and things?
I'm writing Mom Smith at El Nasset. If you were not here at the beginning, I am sorry for you. Just go watch replay. You'll figure out who I am. And yeah, I'll be seeing maybe not all of you. I'll be seeing people at the closing ceremony / party. Em already told y'all to sub to the dubba, so I'm good. I'm gonna go to bed soon.
Yeah, jumped on all of it. Also, this is hilarious. Yes, if anyone reads my book and is like, oh, it was a bit too gory, you can blame Stieg, because Stieg was like, yeah, I don't think it's gory enough. So I was like, okay. So I added more.
Challenge accepted.
The gore is actually great. There's the correct amount of gore. As someone who'd never really read gory before, but like it's good.
Charlotte?
Yeah. Yes. You can find me around the interwebs. I think a lot of them are linked below. YouTube has been a little on a hiatus because my life has been even more chaotic than usual in the last couple of months, but I will be having stuff coming out on there soon. Otherwise, like, you can follow the random shit I talk about on Instagram. Yes, if you're at all interested in like space pirates fantasy or cabaret or chaos or anything else that I do, which I can't remember any of it now that I've been put on the spot, head on over and check it out.
Put on the spot. I said, do your closing things like 5 times.
Yeah. Also, I promise I don't really talk about Brandon Sanderson at all on my channel unless we're like specifically reviewing one of his books. So
I apologize.
For some reason, we end up in big discussions where people get very passionate. I must bring it out in people.
I accidentally went down a hole, and then I needed to figure out if I was right.
Yeah, and I feel like I came across as well as like being like super like trying to defend Brandon Sanderson, and I'm not actually that invested, and I recognize he does have a lot of issues that people are like perfectly valid to have problems with. But there's just like when someone says something and I know there's actual information that they're missing, I can't help but like, actually, you're missing pieces, and I can't.
It's the thrill of the
not
argument.
say it.
You can't say no.
Yeah,
to
and
the
it's not
argument.
even me being like, you're wrong to feel like that. It's just I'm just like, actually, there's more information here that may make this more interesting. So yeah.
All
Anyway, derailing Emmy's outros once again.
Thank you everyone for joining. Again, if you want to find any of these wonderful people, all the links are down below. Subscribe to the Worldwide Writeathon channel so we can get the community tab, please. And check out other stuff, maybe a book that's linked below as well. That would be really great because I think I still have one last payment to my editor. So if you could buy it.
I'd pre-order it if I could.
Well,
Also, Renee is
I'm
making
already
me pay.
stressed enough as it is, okay? I'm not like these other people who have gone and had spent money on formatting programs that do it for them and cover designers, and I did it all, okay? I don't want to deal with a pre-order. I've done enough.
Renee is also reminding me that we have a knitting book club coming up on next Friday, and the book we're actually doing is Ashwood and Brimstone. So come to that
you guys better
if you
read
want
that.
like yeah, we have a week.
Yeah, a week to read the whole book.
Yeah. If we have
That's
to
an
postpone it,
undertaking.
She looks skeptical.
we probably won't.
She's
Look, to be honest,
I'm
the most
skeptical.
likely reason for it to be postponed at this stage is my internet not getting connected on Friday. Because I believe I'm meant to be hosting that one.
Char's
I think-
internet gets connected, but she's not done with the book yet. So she's just like, yeah, they didn't come by. Oh no, they were scheduled.
Well, Danikka also had to like rush to kind of finish it in like a week, so she feels your pain, I think.
Yeah, no, we kind of like
Don't
delayed
give me
it, and then I was like, oh crap, I need to finish these edits.
Yeah.
One
It is
final
a blow.
one final plea for the reason the community tab is so important to me is because this is a YouTube event. And I don't feel like, I know there's a lot of people who are okay with like following the Instagram or joining the Discord, but I don't feel that as a viewer or participant that you should have to go to an outside platform for a YouTube event. And this is why I'm pushing so hard for it, so we can do the announcements in the YouTubes. If you want to host, though, I'm sorry, your soul is sold to Discord. Deal with it.
Which is personally
Not
offended
me,
by.
who didn't join till last week and has still been on like 10 of the streams.
It's okay.
All right, we're going to end it here. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully, we'll see you around. And